Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today, and today we're talking about a company named Momo. So over the weekend I've just been doing a lot of research about some companies because man, I want to deploy some cash, but there's nothing there, there's nothing out there. So I was looking at a company called Momo. I think I found it because 2 years ago or last year it was one of the fastest, yeah, 2, 3 years ago it was one of the fastest growing companies, and it's a company out of China. So Momo is basically like a social kind of media app where you can actually you can meet people that are close by, strangers close by or close in your facility. They actually went into live streaming. They have video games on there. They have karaoke. So they have all this stuff on this app, and I feel like and they went through a lot of turmoil because the Chinese government actually closed the app because they said they're doing like kind of illegal stuff. Like a lot of people kind of meet strangers and they do illegal activity over there because you can see people close by and interact with people close by in like a social atmosphere on this app. And yeah, so they closed the app in China for a little bit. I think India banned Momo in there. What else happened? Alibaba sold off all their Momo shares. So you can see right now their peak was around $52. And this is in 2018. And look where it is now. 1420. Guys, 1420. So it's almost like a 60% drop plus. Like that is crazy. So I feel like this is like, can this be a turnaround play? That's what we want to find out in this video. Can Momo become a turnaround play? And with Momo, they actually have a company called Tantan, which Tantan is basically, if you think about it, Tinder of the China. So it's basically swipe right, swipe left, and you can meet people. So that's Momo's whole, that's the whole premise of Momo and Tantan. It's just to like interact with strangers, meet people, go on dates. So you can see how that whole section of Momo and Tantan got affected with COVID because people are not meeting up like that, especially with COVID. So that comes in with this huge drop and all this other things I said. So that's why there's 60% drop. So COVID happened. What else happened during that whole time? They're actually restructuring Momo because a lot of ways Momo gets their money is from live streaming, and then we have these big like we have these a lot, you know how you have a lot of simps that are doing virtual gifts to all these like entertainers when they're doing live streams, and they usually get most of the money from like the top percentage of people that are just donating like crazy. You can kind of think of it, but like more raunchy. Like you can kind of think of it as like YouTube, and if you go live streaming, people donate. But this is like worse. Like people, like girls are doing live streaming, and then guys are donating to these girls. So it was more like that. But they're trying to switch up their brand. They're trying to restructure their brand to make it more like get kind of out of that. They're trying to get away from that, so they're restructuring everything, and that's why these huge sell-off has been happening. So yeah, they generate most of their money from virtual gifts, and they're trying to switch that up a little bit, trying to get more subscriptions and stuff like that. And Tantan, their kind of Tinder type of app, they are actually growing significantly. Like they're growing really huge. It hasn't been that much profitable, but they are growing really fast. I think I have 113 million users already. So that's more than like any of like Tinder. So just imagine that it's in China, and that has such a potential to grow because remember, people are not interacting like crazy right now, right? So imagine when things open up in China more and stuff like that happens, Tantan's gonna explode, and that's what people are relying on. Tantan to explode, and Momo is still generating free cash flow. So it's able to sustain the business still because it still generates a good amount of money. And the thing I want to say is like what? Like look at this. The market cap is basically 3 billion. And if you go to Momo's balance sheet, they have $2.1 billion in cash. So that's what got me interested in this company, man. Cause like they have $2.1 billion in cash, and it's only a $3 billion market cap. So it's just like, how much downside like does this company have? Like, if it goes down farther, because it was at like $13, 13.01. Like, can you like you can buy the company for just how much cash it has on the balance sheet. So so when you think about that, it's just like, oh wow, like that's a low downside. Plus, they're actually starting to they're restructuring the company, and then when stuff opens up, they're saying like the CEO in the new earnings report or transcript saying they're restructuring, and they've seen positive news of growth already in those sections because they have been spending. They didn't want to during the Chinese New Year, during the whole time they didn't want to spend on a lot of cash on all the advertisements to get more users. So their user base kind of declined a little bit. And when their user base declines, people are just so out of anytime your monthly active users decline or any kind of users decline, Wall Street and everyone hates it. So they kind of ran from this company in shock because that was going down. But that's because they didn't want to spend on advertisement because a lot of other companies were raising the price on their advertisements because so many people were advertising during that Chinese New Year's. So everything was expensive, and then Momo kind of laid back on that. So they're saying that they're gonna actually start investing more money into their advertisements now because it's becoming cheaper. So they're focused on Tantan growing their monthly active users and then waiting for that to grow because more people are going to be kind of going out, open up, and they have even in Tantan has live streaming, and they're just doing a lot of like restructuring to get that more money. So you can see how this could be a turnaround play. So when we look at that, so down 15.4% year over year, the total revenue. Look at that. But like, look at this. Tantan is up 135% in 2019. And then growth margins to 46%. So Tantan has been growing like crazy. Like Tantan's been growing steadily. You can even look at this. Oh no, no, not this. Where is it? Yeah, like Tantan. Like look at this steep upcline. Like it's been growing good, but then it kind of dipped in Q4 2020, the latest report. But they're saying that they're gonna try to be more aggressive, getting clients, getting people onto their site, and actually monetizing that. So that's how I can see this company growing and actually kind of recovering from that huge decline. But I don't. But the thing about Momo is that people are still down on the company, and then we gotta remember this is a Chinese company as well. So you know already all the downsides about people who think about Chinese companies and how like they can be delisted and all that blah 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 stuff about Chinese companies. So that's how you know it's on a this is company's on a huge discount because of that Chinese discount too, right? So you gotta think about that as well when you're thinking about Momo. But just in the short term, like Tantan, I think is going to be the one that's gonna provide the huge amount of growth. And I wrote down a few stuff before I made this video to see should I invest in this company? Like, is it worth it, guys? Like, I want to know if it's worth it because I'm thinking about this play as very short term. I'm just looking at a quick bounce, maybe to $20, because it's something I want to do with the cash I have on the sidelines. That's how I'm thinking, but I'm not sure if it's still worth that. So here's my like kind of like investment thesis on this. So why I was thinking about buying this company. The first red flag I have for this company is that you need to spend money on advertising to actually get users, which is a huge red flag for this company, right? Because you want to when you're thinking about investing, you want to buy companies that you don't need a lot of advertisement because the product is just so good. People just come back and come back. Just think about like companies like Amazon or like a Ferrari. Like you don't need to advertise for those companies. Like everyone knows about that, and they know they're gonna be huge, and they know that you don't need advertisement because the product, the service is just so good that you don't need it. So that's my huge red flags. There's also red flags in let me see. Yeah, so that's a red flag right there. Live streaming has been dying since the whole pandemic issue, so it's been going down. But that's why I think about this company, because that can be a place for recovering going into like April, guys, and into the summer. And the summer, people are going to be more dating more. So you can see how opening up can provide a huge upside for like live streaming, for Momo's dating, for Tantan dating, and all that type of stuff. Um, yeah, so the users' growth has stalled, has been declining a little bit, and I think that's because it hasn't. They said, the owner, CEO said, because they haven't been advertising, because what I just said previously is there's a lot of spending, and they're trying to look to recover on return on investment. They want a good return on investment. Um, so yeah, so that's why they haven't. But they have a lot of competition. Billy, Hua, Tencent, like they have a lot of competition. So this is why I see this as a short-term play, because I don't know who's gonna win this. They have Joy, like I don't know who's gonna win this battle, right? Because there's a lot of live streaming options out there, and and that's where they make majority of their money right now. So you got to think about that. And then when it comes to dating, their Tantan is like it's like probably the most popular app for kind of dating. It's like the Tinder of China, but that hasn't been generated. It's not generating the money right now. So we gotta watch out for that. Um, so that's my issue with Momo. That's the issue with Momo. But if you look at it as a short-term play, I don't think that those issues matter. And then I want to go back to like why I think this company could be strong, right? So here's what I have. That's why I think this can go back to $20 and maybe even more. So it suffered, yeah. So yeah, it suffered the COVID hit. The Momo Biz, they're saying they're going to turn around the company. The CEO, they're restructuring the company. They're doing more valued added services. So basically, more subscriptions, more reliability on the income they generate, and not just from people just giving those huge donations to these live streaming people. They actually got contracts with famous live streamers, big live streamers that are going to be the ones generating the money. So they got contracts with them so they can get on their platform and live stream so they can get a lot of donations. So they have that in place. And then again, 2021, the Chinese New Year, which dropped the revenue of Tantan and Momo, right? And so yeah, but the thing is that they say they're doing buybacks. They have a huge cash dividend coming. They still have consistent net income. They're still generating consistent net income. If around $400,000. So if you just if you bought this company, you would get all your money back in like around 6 years. You'll get your $3 billion. You would buy the company out in 6 years. So that's huge. Like, and that's been a consistent amount of money, and I think that's going to even grow. So that's how I see this turnaround play coming out. But then the main thing is they have high insider ownership. I think the CEO owns like 45% of Momo. So that's the biggest bullish signal I see. Like he owns so much shares, so he has to want to do good for the company. That's how I see the vision, right? Like he has to want to do good for this company because he owns so much shares um, of Momo. But then the risk comes with large competition. But I'm not sure if that matters because I feel like um, I feel like you can just get that quick recovery and sell out of it. But remember, guys, so this is a speculative play. If I do it, it's a small gamble. But I think this is a good gamble. This is a gamble with like more positive than downsides because I feel like the downside is kind of protected because how cheap the stock is, right? Compared to how much cash it already has on the balance sheet and how much cash is going to be generating next quarter. So man, it's a hard decision if I want to get into this company, right? Um, yeah, it's a hard decision, but then when I think about it, it's like I already own Alibaba and JD.com. So if I own those two companies right now, if I invest money in this company, is this company better than JD.com and Baba? And Baba is selling at huge discounts right now, and they're more a reliable source. It's not a gamble. It's 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 more of a reliable income. Like, these companies are gonna recover if the Chinese risk gets away from the whole sphere of the Baba and JD.com. Those companies are just gonna boom, looking forward, looking like 1, 2, 3 years out, unless there's actually a government risk. And there's been a lot of government risk because of the whole, like, yeah, we already know about what's going on with China and the U.S. and how, and the U.S. and Canada, and how they're back and forth, and they were at the Alaska summit, and they didn't get on good terms. So much stuff happening over there, guys. So tell me, have you guys looked into Momo? Like, if you looked into Momo, tell me what you think about this company. Like, can it recover? Like, it's at 14.11 right now. In June 18th, it was at $53. Like, that could be a huge turnaround. I can see $20 for sure, but I'm not sure if it can get to like 30, depending on the recovery. But I can see them recovering because they said the CEO, the transcript of the earnings call said they can actually see some recovery happening already in the company. So that got me thinking if this is a quick turnaround play, easy money kind of stock. So guys, tell me what you think. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel. I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace.